The day I graduated was supposed to be the moment I finally felt seen. The stadium glowed under the May sunlight, rows of navy gowns swaying in the breeze, while families cheered for the people they loved. When the announcer spoke my name, Camila Elaine Reed, Master of Data Analytics, I looked automatically toward the family section. It was completely empty. Cold metal chairs shining back at me instead of familiar faces. I smiled for the photo anyway, my hands tight around my diploma, pretending the emptiness didn't hurt. Around me, other students fell into the arms of their parents, kissed cheeks, shared bouquets, and laughed in waves that felt like confetti exploding in the air. I stood alone near a stranger's family, shrinking my smile each time a camera flashed. After the ceremony, I lingered in the courtyard, scrolling my phone to look busy. My friend Ruby found me, screamed with joy, and hugged me hard while her parents took photos of us together. She asked, "Where's your family? Running late?" I lied easily, something I'd practiced for years, and said yes. By the time I reached the parking lot, the sky had turned gold. Balloons floated above cars, horns honked, kids shouted, families celebrated. I sat inside my old Civic and imagined my parents walking toward me, just for 1 second, like a scene from a life I never had. Then the vision disappeared. The truth was I shouldn't have been surprised. They'd skipped my college graduation too. There had always been a reason. A smaller, shinier priority. Avery's finals, a soccer game, a piano lesson, anything but me. Since I was 16, I had worked early shifts at Starbucks, sending money home whenever my mom said Avery needed something. For years, I thought love meant sacrifice, that approval was something I had to earn by giving more and needing nothing. I thought grad school would finally change things. I thought achieving enough would make them see me, not as a wallet, not as a backup, but as their daughter. I was wrong. 3 days after my empty graduation, my phone buzzed with a message from my mom. Need 200 for your sister's Sweet 16. No congratulations. No questions. Just a number and an expectation. The moment I read it, something inside me, something tired and ignored for years, finally woke up. I opened my banking app, saw my tiny savings, and something hardened in my chest. I sent $1 with the note. Congrats. Then I dropped the spare key my mother insisted on keeping into the trash and called a locksmith. When the new lock clicked into place, it felt like the first boundary I had ever built in my life. The next morning, silence filled my apartment, warm and peaceful. For the first time, I wasn't scared of the quiet. I owned it. Until the knocking started. 2 police officers stood outside my door. Calm. Serious. "Your mother called," one said. "She claims you're acting unstable, changing locks, ignoring calls, and she's worried for your safety." I let them in. They saw the neat apartment. My laptop open, my diploma framed, my coffee cup, my calm. They asked a few questions and quickly realized the truth. "You're fine," the officer said gently. "Sometimes when people set boundaries, others panic." After they left, I leaned against the door, shaking with anger. My mother had used the police to force her way back into my life. She wasn't done taking. The next morning, I checked my bank and felt the world tilt. 2 credit inquiries, 2 new cards, both opened in my name, with my parents' address as the billing address. The charges were already in the thousands. Event planners, DJ agencies, glam studios, a Sweet 16 paid for with my identity. When I called the bank, the representative confirmed it. The co-applicant for the cards was Linda M. Reed, my mother. I recorded our next call legally and confronted her. Her answer? "Oh, that? I was helping you build credit. Stop being dramatic. What's yours is ours." "No," I said. "What's yours is under investigation." I met them at a diner a few days later. I brought a folder with all the documents. I laid them on the table. My mother waved her hands like none of it mattered and accused me of being ungrateful. My father tried to calm things quietly. Avery rolled her eyes, too used to getting everything without consequences. I told them the truth. I had already filed the fraud report. The bank had her signature, her address, her handwriting. The investigation had begun. My mother went pale. My father said it was a misunderstanding. I stood up, placed the cash for my coffee on the table, and walked out. That night, Avery's Sweet 16 was interrupted when 2 officers and a bank representative walked into the venue to document the fraudulent charges. Guests filmed, whispers spread. My mother froze while Avery stared at her in disbelief. I didn't gloat, I didn't laugh. I simply sat in my apartment and let the quiet hold me like a victory. 3 days later, the bank emailed me. My mother admitted the fraud. She agreed to repay all the charges. Word spread quickly through Littleton. People whispered. Avery's party video went viral. My father was questioned at work. I felt nothing but relief. I froze my credit, closed every account she had ever touched, and pinned the fraud confirmation next to my diploma and the receipt for my new lock. 3 pieces of proof. I earned my future. I protected myself. I freed myself. 6 months later, autumn covered Denver in gold. I worked at a new job surrounded by people who respected me. On my wall hung 3 symbols of the life I rebuilt: my diploma, my employee badge, the old broken lock. Together, they told one story, the story of the day I finally chose myself. So if you've ever had to set a boundary just to breathe again, you're not alone. Tell me where you're watching from, so I know how many of us finally changed the lock.